welcome to another video. This is Live Life Lori. So it's my husband's birthday at the end of the month, and I also have two friends that their husband's birthday was just a couple of days ago, so we figured we would kind of pick a date in the middle and celebrate all the three guys' birthday at the same time. So that's going to be this weekend. So I figured I would make cake pops for them. Of course, I'm making vegan ones, so they're not vegan, but I'm vegan and I'm the one making them, so they get the pleasure of having vegan cake pops. So let's get right into it. That was weird. The camera just ended, so I'm not sure what part you missed. But this is the cake that I baked. You can see it, my hands are all gooey. I did put the lid on before it cooled down, and that's why there's more moisture to it. But it's going to be a very gooey, creamy, fudgy cake pop. So you don't need any icing. If I was to make this non-vegan and I did use the eggs, I would have to put a tiny bit of icing, pre-made icing, just to kind of bind it all together. But you can see just for 2 minutes mixing that, it's already forming. See, I can make a huge cake pop. Maybe that's what I should do one time, make a giant one. So anyways, that's all you do is you basically bake a cake. Doesn't matter what pan you use. You want to use a big sheet pan, you want to use 2 little pie type pans, which is what I used. You can use a rectangular one, doesn't matter, because you're all going to mix it up anyway. It's going to be all mixed up in a bowl. So I'm going to wash my hands and let's get into the next step. So once you have your cake all mixed up, you got just a cookie pan, put wax paper on it. Not parchment paper, you want wax paper because you don't want it to stick to it. Just making sure I did put wax paper, but yeah. Oh, you know what, I'll put the shiny side up, the waxy side. Alright, so you can make any shape you want, obviously, but I'm going to be making little birthday cakes. So I'm not going to do the traditional round ball. I'm going to take probably about the same, you kind of grab a little bit that looks like, you know, a golf ball. This would be about the size, but I'm going to try to shape it into a little cake. So first I'll do a ball, and then or maybe I'll roll it, and then flatten down the side, the top and the bottom. It kind of looks like a little marshmallow. So if you could see, what it looks like. So once it's all decorated, it's going to look like a cute little cake. So before we finish making all the cakes, we're going to melt our chocolate, just because it is better to have it melted a little bit before you're ready to use it. That way it's not too hot and doesn't crack too soon. So I actually just have a mug. I had some chocolate here because I made cake pops for Halloween. So I have some leftover dark vegan chocolate. I just added a couple more, well, not a couple more, a little bit more vegan chocolate chips on the top, and we're going to just microwave that. You want to microwave it in little increments, just so that way your chocolate doesn't burn. So even though our chocolate is not fully melted, there are still lots of chocolate chips that are not melted. That's okay, because for this step it doesn't matter. So it continues to melt as we're doing this step. So you need cake pop sticks. These are actually a little bit too tiny than what I'd recommend. I think these are 3 inches maybe, but I'd prefer like the 6 inches. It's just easier when you're using a cake pop stand and also to hold it. But there seems to be a shortage where I live. I don't know what's been happening. Maybe everyone made them for Halloween or Thanksgiving. So anyways, you just take your little cake pop stick, you just dip the tip in, and you just put it, you don't want to go right through the cake pop. So you're just dipping it in the chocolate just so that it has something to bind to. So we will just do that. But it's funny when you look at these cake pops, they look like they're not cooked, but they are, because you saw that we baked a cake and then we just crumbled it up, and it's kind of like a denser consistency. And just so you guys know too, it's about the same size as a cupcake, but a cupcake is obviously light and fluffy. But if you took a cupcake and you mushed it down and you condensed it, it would be a cake pop. So because you get the same amount in a batch as you would for cupcakes. So that's how come I know it's about the same dense, it's just a little bit denser. So you're still getting tons of sweetness, and then you're coating it with chocolate instead of icing. All right, so you can see, I'm gonna show this to you. So they're all just sitting on the wax paper, and we're just gonna let that sit for a second while we finish heating up our chocolate. So I just took it out of the microwave again. I'm just gonna keep stirring until it's nice and smooth and there's no lumps. And I don't know if you guys know, I used to have a cake pop business years ago, but I wasn't vegan. So it was definitely easier to find, you know, the white chocolate, the red chocolate, all kinds of different colored chocolate, so I can make all kinds of cake pops, any kind of character for the children's birthday parties and any themed, any sports, I could do it all. But now that I'm a vegan, it's a little more tricky, so I've only been able to find dark chocolate and milk chocolate, which is, sorry, not dark, not milk. I've only been able to find dark chocolate and white chocolate. So, okay, so the other thing we do need is a candle. So I said we're making little birthday cakes, and it's vegan, so I had to find vegan candy. So the only thing I could find for the straw, for the little candle to put in, is Mike and Ike's banana. So, maybe not Mike's banana, but Mike and Ike's banana, the candy. So it's, even though it has a curve to it, it's gonna be like a little candle. So let's just take one. Try to remember whichever you started first, because that way it's gonna be ready quicker. So you just wanna dip it in, just enough to cover it. Very smooth, don't be quick about it. And kind of just keep turning this. You want the extra chocolate to come off. So I'm going to see if I can bring this closer to you. Actually, I might just change the camera and so you could see. Everyone, so you can see it is another day. I wanted the cake pops to set overnight, and not so much that you need to have them set, but what it is when you're putting another layer on top of the chocolate, so you want to decorate it, because I want to do little icings to make it look like a cute little cake. If you do it too quickly after doing the first layer, like which is the dipping, then they start to crack. So I find you want to wait about 4 hours in between layers of decorating, and because I made them late last night, I was like, that's it, I'm going to bed. So here's another day. So we're going to finish them. So let's get into it. So what you need now is your chocolate, your melted chocolate. I have mine in a mug. I just melted it again and stirred it, so it's all ready to go. You need some toothpicks, which is what we're going to use to decorate our cute little birthday cakes. And you need a big bowl. So what you're going to do is when you take your cake pop, and we're going to decorate it with a toothpick with the chocolate, and then we can put our little sprinkles, whatever sprinkles you want to put on it. We're going to kind of shake that over the cake pop, over the big bowl. That way only where you put the wet chocolate is where the little candies are going to stick to it, and then the extra will go in the bowl, and then we could reuse it. And I also have these cute little hearts just to decorate on the top. I mean, there's really whatever candies you can find that are vegan. Most of these hard candies are, but I did have a hard time finding colored chocolate melts. So for these ones, I wanted to have white, but I did order vegan white chocolate off Amazon, but who knows when they're gonna come. I have a Prime membership and they might take a couple of weeks, so I'm not waiting on that. So in the meantime, we have our dark chocolate, and then I'm gonna kind of do a little decoration with more dark chocolate on top, and then with the candy. So at least it'll stand out. It's still gonna be cute. So let's get into it. All right, so you need your toothpick, and you need your cake pop, and your melted chocolate. So what I'm gonna do is first I'm just going to make a little line along the top. So you kind of need to do these in stages because you don't want the chocolate to harden before you get a chance to put your sprinkles. So you kind of have to move a little quick. So I'm just doing a cute little border. Nothing fancy. So there we go. That's what it looks like. And then I'm going to, hopefully you could see that. I'm just going to sprinkle some on top. There. That's what it looks like so far. So now we're going to go back to here. I'm going to draw a little line at the border at the bottom too, just to kind of, because it's not a perfect flat at the bottom, so this kind of gives the illusion that it is. So let's just do a little border. Again, it's not perfect. You could put it in a Ziploc bag or like a those icing bags and cut the tips, but I find with chocolate it dries so quickly, and then you don't really it doesn't really work out that great. It kind of hardens and then you're stuck with it hard in the bag. So far that's what it looks like. All right, so that's what it looks like now. So now I'm just going to put a couple of hearts at the top. Actually, maybe I'll put some on the sides. So I'm just putting a couple of dots. The good thing is with this, you can decorate it however way you want. Trying to use all the colors here. Yellow. Oh, that's not yellow. So like I was saying yesterday in the video, you don't want to be doing cake pops when you're rushing. It's not something that you could just pump out like, you know, 30 cake pops in an hour or something, kind of like a cupcake. It's definitely a little bit more tricky. So that's what it looks like so far. Nothing fancy, but we haven't put a candle yet. All right, so yesterday I was going to use the banana, the Mike and Ike's banana, whoops, cut up to make the candle, but it didn't really turn out great. So I also have these other little candies. So you can see they're actually they're little Christmas lights. So I'm gonna put that. So here's our little cake pop here. I'm gonna get my toothpick, if I can get one out. And I'm just going to put it right on the top. I want to have a generous amount because I don't want this thing to fall off, because it's not lying flat, it's actually like sticking up. So this would have been better if we had put it when it was wet, but that's okay. So we're going to just hold it there for a second. It doesn't take very long to harden. And you could see how cute is that. So you just need a styrofoam block just to have them set there. So let's work on the next one. So the cake pops are ready. As you can see, I made the little, okay, let me zoom in there. The cute little cake ones, and then I also had some extra cake and I didn't feel like doing them all, so I did the little balls. So, but you see when you have the majority of them in the display, then, oh, the little tape is undoing here. So I'll show you when I'm completely done. I might get some of that little, you know, the Easter type of grass that kind of goes in there. So I might do that, and you could do this big saran wrap or the cellophane, I guess is the word, and do like a big basket. But since we're going to the restaurant, I might even just individually wrap them also. So I just want to show you guys. Okay, I know this is really close, so maybe I should move it back a bit. There we go. All right, so I figured I would just show you how to wrap these little cake pops if you would like to wrap yours. Let's see, this is kind of the front. So I'm going to try to individually wrap them. I have these cute little like the treat bags, I guess you call them. So let me move the camera so you can see. All right, so what you need is one of your bags. You need scissors and you need some kind of ribbon. So I'm going to use red ribbon. You just want to cut, I like to have enough so that I have space. So you just take one of your cake pops. Make sure they're fully dry. You don't want to have any messes. Put it in gently. And then you take one of these, just put it under. And then you can tie a cute little bow. You want to make sure that there's enough, because especially these ones are a little bit taller. And then just tie her up. And then of course, if you want to get really snazzy, you can curl these. And I wouldn't recommend doing a knot. That way when they go to eat a cake pop, they just have to pull this and then they can go ahead and open it. So I'll show you the finished product when I have them all done. All right, so I know I already said goodbye, but I just wanted to show you how they look when they're all wrapped. And cute little display. All I did was take a little box I had from, I don't know, some other gift I must have got, and then I put styrofoam inside, and then I wrapped it with tissue paper. And look how cute that is. So this is how I'm going to bring it to the restaurant, and then that way everyone could just take them. Just so you guys know, I would recommend you store this in the fridge. They will last about a week or two if you leave them sealed, but you could see how I clearly, like, I sealed them very well with the ribbon. If you didn't wrap them, it might still be a week, but I'd say in a container at least, you know, a sealed container. But you want to keep it in the fridge for sure, even though there is no dairy and no eggs. So again, sorry I already said goodbye once. So hopefully you did enjoy this video, and let me know in the comments below if you do end up trying them. And just because you're vegan doesn't mean you can miss out. We can veganize anything. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.